morning. Jack's contented slumber was disturbed by a distinctly female voice pleading tersely for him to wake up, while a hand, or was it two hands, was shaking him into wakefulness. What? He muttered as he started to come around. 5 more minutes, he mumbled, and then rolled over to go back to sleep. Wake up, damn it, the female voice hissed. Jack grumbled and rolled towards the voice, opening his eyes to find a very worried-looking Chastity standing over him. What's the matter? He asked groggily, wondering for a few moments why Chastity was leaning on some sort of rail. Chastity was groping for words. I wet my diaper, she whispered, clearly all out of sorts. Jack wondered what she was talking about. The question as to whether or not she had actually wet the bed at her age came to mind, and then it all clicked back into focus. He and Chastity were testing a lot of oversized baby products, and she had wet the diaper she had worn to bed. Okay, no big deal. Well, we did each use 2 diapers yesterday, Jack reminded her. Chastity shook her head vigorously. No. I mean, I woke up and my diaper was wet. I didn't do it on purpose. Now it was getting a little clearer. Are you sure? He asked stupidly. Chastity glowered at him and climbed into his crib, settling onto her knees. Look, she told him. The diaper had been thick to begin with, now it was even thicker, sagging, and had an off-white color where the wet padding was against the outer shell. Okay, so you wet your diaper in the middle of the night without realizing it. Maybe your mind realized that it didn't have to warm up for relief, it was already available. Jack sighed and rubbed his face to get rid of whatever sleep sand remained. I don't see why this is such a big deal. Chastity relaxed some. Maybe you're right, but it's still kind of scary. I mean, I haven't wet the bed since I was like 5 years old. Jack nodded dumbly and sat up. Maybe it's just a freak occurrence, he said as he stretched. Something didn't feel right to him, but he couldn't put his finger on it. He let out a breath and yawned as he let his arms drop back to the mattress. One of them banged off of a crib railing. Ow, he muttered as he rubbed where it hit. So, he said to Chastity, who had taken a few moments to snap up her sleeper. How'd you sleep? At his question she looked up and smiled a bit. Like a baby, she said with a slight wrinkling of her nose at her word choice. Jack found it to be endearingly cute. How about you? About the same, but perhaps more like a rock. I'll say one thing for these people, they know how to pick mattresses. The bed itself, though, he said with a significant look around the crib's bars, leaves much to be desired. Totally, Chastity said. A refreshing rest, though, Jack went on. Ah, that was it. He didn't have that pressing need to pee. Really refreshing. In fact, he came to a sudden halt and his face took on a weird expression. Chastity had expected him to continue. In fact, what? She prompted. Jack was about to tell her that he didn't need to use the bathroom, when he remembered the diaper that was ever so nicely taped around his waist. Curious, he pressed a hand against it, and it felt distinctly squishy. What's wrong? Chastity asked. With a look of mild horror, Jack unsnapped of his sleeper to reveal a boyishly styled, grossly oversized baby diaper. It was the same off-white as Chastity's. It hadn't been that way when he'd gone to bed. Oh hell no, he said, shocked. He looked at Chastity in despair. She was sitting against the footboard of his crib, disturbed. One of us would be a freak accident, but both of us? She shook her head. That's not right. Jack's horror, shock and despair was replaced by anger in short order when the implication of Chastity's words sank in. No, he murmured darkly. No it isn't. Jack set about closing his sleeper, and when he was finished, he climbed out of his crib, taking only a few moments to lower the side. Chastity followed after him. What are we going to do? She asked, halfway between curious and despairing.